So now I'm a year out from losing Quentin, and I ask myself all the time, when does the grieving stop? When do I stop having that pit in my feet, in my gut? When do I stop feeling all the feels? When does it just go away? And here's the thing. I think we as humans just want to like take grief and like fix it, put it in a little pretty package with a little bow on it, and then shove it away for no one to see. And just kind of look at it as a point in life that you move away from. But the reality for any of those that have grieved, we know that grief never leaves. Now, I'm only a year out, so I don't know if you're out further than a year. Are you feeling the same way? I don't believe that time heals all wounds. I believe the wound and scar will always be there. How the scar looks will be dependent on the work that we do. We'll always have a scar. That grief will always be something that we hold. But I want to remind you, and I have to remind myself this all the time. And for those of you that know my story and know the story of Quentin's passing, he wrote me a letter, which sounds so crazy because it was unexpected, but he was just that guy that was always so planned, and he took care of his family, and he wanted to make sure that we knew those next steps. And it was the biggest gift for me. So if you're listening to this, you may not think that your family might need a letter from you, but get your affairs in order, because you just never know. You never know. This is just a reminder, not what this coffee chat's about. But the grief doesn't just go away. And I'm constantly like balancing that grief and everything that I do in life. And there are days that it takes me out. There are moments that it takes me out. Many a moments that it takes me out. But here's your gentle reminder that you can grieve and still smile at the same time. And I feel like I need to say that out loud because I need to give myself permission to grieve and smile at the same time. There used to be times, and there still are, it still creeps in, that when I smile or laugh at a joke or find myself enjoying the day, I start to feel very guilty and very shameful, because it's like, wow, well, how am I supposed to be happy when he can't be here to enjoy it? Or how am I supposed to be happy when I've lost the love of my life? Like I have to pay some sort of penance for that grief. And that letter that he wrote to me to prepare us for those next steps as a loving husband and father did, as he was. He did that for us as the biggest gift. He talked about in there not crying, really realizing there's a season of tears, but not letting it ruin the rest of my life, grieving over him. And I always laugh and say, oh, easy for you to say, babe. Easy for you to say, right? You're in heaven. Life looks a lot different for you there, but easy for you to say, right? But I truly believe that. I go back to that, and I'm like, anytime I start to feel guilt or shame, I go back to that. If I have to reread it, I reread it. And he talks a lot about making sure, he's like, babe, you're one of the most positive people that I know. You're happy. You always find a reason to smile. You're the life of the party. Don't mourn me and grieve me for the rest of your life. And I think what he meant by that is learn to smile again, learn to love life again, learn to love again, learn to do all these things again in honor of me, in celebration of me, instead of mourning the day that you lost me, because your worst day was my best day. If he could come back, he wouldn't come back. My kids and I were just talking about that the other day. My youngest two said, Dad wouldn't come back. They said it before I said it. Dad would never come back if he could. Heaven is the ultimate, like, the reality, ultimate prize that we can have. And so I want to give you permission today, if you're that and you're grieving like me, maybe you're further into your journey of grief than me, and you're more wise. I don't claim to be wise on the subject, but I want to be an encouragement to you through my real rawness of the grief that I'm walking through, to say it's okay to grieve and smile at the same time. And when you catch yourself smiling or laughing and you start to feel guilty, just strip away the shame, because your loved one would want you to live life to its fullest. They would want you to move forward, honoring them with a smile instead of those tears. There is a time for tears, my friend, and I do it every day. Every day I still cry. But I also realize there's a time for dancing and a time for joy and a time for smiling. And I want to give you permission today that it's okay. Your grief is not one-dimensional. It's not one-dimensional. So for people that get on here and say to me, how are you doing this when are you supposed to be grieving? They clearly never grieved before, because grief is a monster. It's a potpourri of emotions, of highs and very low lows and very, very high highs and plateaus and all of the things, from numb to crying to finding joy, again, in the midst of your sorrow. And I know that's what he would want us to do. So if you're struggling, I want to give you, again, permission to smile. It's okay to smile while you're grieving. Your loved one would want you to do just that. Honor them with laughter. Honor them with dancing. Honor them with loving life and living it to the fullest. So I just don't worry, be happy, is what Clint would say. Baby, don't worry, be happy. So happy, joy is what comes from within. Happiness is circumstances. I may not find happiness in a day, but I can always have that joy that overwhelms my soul because of Christ, because of he who is within me as greater than the world, so greater than any circumstance that I ever confront or have to face. He's already conquered that for me. And Quentin is feeling the beauty of that, the true reward, the ultimate prize of life. And if he could come back, he wouldn't come back. And he'd want us to keep a smile on our face and honor him with dancing and joy and laughter. And you know what, friends? That's what we're going to try to do. And when we can't, we're going to cry. And that's okay too, because we're human. But we are going to also understand that with grief comes joy and sorrow. And it's combined, wrapped and marbled all together.